Hey guys, so I'm just gonna give my opinions on this Resident Evil 4 remake. Let's get right into it. I think this looks amazing. This is a great atmosphere.
How far could he have gone?
Hopefully they stick with this atmosphere.
Anyone home?
Now this does give me Resident Evil 7 and Resident Evil Village vibes. I'll be honest with you, if I was to walk into this house, my gun would be out and I would just shoot the first person I see, because if you have all this stuff hanging in your house, you're most likely not a good person.
Hey. I read you. What's your situation? What the hell's going on? What was that? No fucking way.
Why would you let a zombie get that close? Or I guess a Las Plagas in this. I mean, the blood looks really good. You could turn your flashlight off, you could sneak. Ooh, this looks really good. I think the worst parts of Resident Evil are the cutscenes. Like, just keep the horror going.
This is Condor 1.
Hunnigan here. What's
Don't
your
ever
server?
let the character rest.
President's daughter, Baby Eagle. It's likely she's in this village.
Our intel was correct then. Well done.
Something's happened to the people here. My escorts are.
I mean, the voice acting is good. It looks great. But I still feel like the cutscenes are the worst part of Resident Evil, every single Resident Evil. So he's using a PlayStation controller. I really hope they keep these horror. Nope.
Bill me for the repairs later.
So I don't think there's anything wrong with combining horror and action. This is a great example of a bad player taking you out of the experience. Like, I'm watching this and I'm just like, why are you playing like you've never played a video game in your life? My buddy who has one arm and no legs could play better than this. That's not even a joke. That's just like I know a guy with one arm and no legs, and he's beaten these games on professional mode. The fact that you can just keep getting caught and not be dead. So let's have a conversation real quick, shall we? Just bring this right back to here, this wonderful scene. And look at this. This is beautiful. This is horror. This is how I feel horror should be. Now, that doesn't mean that action can't be horror. You know, Dead Space has a lot of horror action in it, but the action parts play a minor role in the entirety of what is a psychological horror. Because that's what Dead Space is. It's a psychological horror. And I feel like the original Resident Evil 4 was more of a kind of a thriller. I never felt scared in Resident Evil 4. And I'm probably going to be in the minority here, but I feel like Resident Evil 4 in terms of horror is probably one of the worst Resident Evils. And a lot of people don't understand that Resident Evil 4 is what created Resident Evil 5 and 6. Without Resident Evil 4 and its insane success, it's still probably one of the most critically successful Resident Evils to this day. And Capcom looked at that and they were just like, well, we put all this action in there. Obviously, they want more action. You know, Call of Duty, they obviously love that. So let's just give them more action. And so they gave people more action. And what we got were okay action games. And that's the issue. They were bad horror games and okay action games. Resident Evil 4 is a really good action game. It's a kind of a good thriller, but it's not a very good horror game because there literally was never a part where I was scared of Resident Evil 4. So I mean, I know it would have been a change, but I prefer changes. I can go back and play 4. I believe that that would have been a reason to, you know, own both the original and then go and buy the remake. Is if you remake 4 and drop it complete and put it in a completely horror atmosphere. And I would have loved it if it would have stayed this. This right here, this first minute of this game, I was just so hyped to play. This is what I want. When I think Resident Evil, I want zombies, I want horror, I want, I don't want to be overpowered. I want to be scared running for my life, like majority of the time. In a horror atmosphere.
Anyone home?
You know, if they want to make action games into the Resident Evil franchise, they can do that. They have been doing that for years, and every single one of those action games have failed. People love those action games, but because it's Resident Evil, no one wants to play them. And the people who are fans of the Resident Evil franchise just won't. See, I love this. I love this. This is what I love about it.
Hey.
I would love for them to just see, in my heart of hearts, if I was a video game developer, I would if I was to release a game and did 20 years on its anniversary, I would do a kind of like a touch up, bring it to today's standards, but I would also remake the game. You know, in 20 years I would be like, well, you know what? I kind of wanted to do this a little differently, and I kind of wanted to do this a little differently, and I kind of want to do this a little differently. And what I would do is I would take all those ideas and be like, hey, look, this was how maybe at the time I didn't have the money to put this in there, or maybe at the time I didn't have the technology to put it in there, or maybe I couldn't find the right voice actor or whatever. So here is the reimagining of this game and I hope you guys like it. But we're still going to re-release the original game just with upgraded graphics, and we're not going to change anything about it. And I think that that would be a beautiful thing. So let me guys know what y'all think.